Welcome back. Wow, that was loud. Welcome back. So, I'm having a lot of trouble keeping this camera focused lately. Apparently there's a ghost back there that, for whatever reason, my camera wants to focus on. So if we could just draw the attention down to here. So, tonight we are making wings. If you are kind of on a health kick, and you're looking for a way to still enjoy your hot wings, this is actually a 21-day fix recipe. I will link the recipe down in the description below, so check that out if you're interested. A few modifications that we do make to this recipe is, one, Brienne doesn't really like spice. I, for one, absolutely love spice, but maybe spice isn't for you. So I find it's easier to add spice afterward than to take it away after it's already been in. So what we do is we cut the cayenne in half in the mix, and we don't put cayenne at all in the sauce. We also don't use poultry seasoning in this recipe. We just find it's fine without it. I do have the mixture of spices here. I will list the amounts so that you can see how much we're using, but we've got garlic powder, salt, cayenne, and just flour in here for the coating. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this egg and we're gonna whisk the egg. We're gonna, smash the egg, and then we're gonna mix it all together. I found some good shortcuts making this recipe over time, so I chopped up all the chicken ahead of time just to be prepared. And what I do now, instead of taking one piece, putting it in the egg, and then putting it into the actual coating mixture, is I just take a Tupperware and put a lid over top of it and just shake all the chicken in with everything. It literally coats it better than anything else that I've done. So tonight's beverage is going to be the Plumbus Shaman? Yeah, the Plumbus Shaman. It's a fruited sour. So I'm guessing it's plum. I've never had it before. It's by Grist House, which is a Pittsburgh brewery. So cheers to that. To accompany this, we're gonna have some French fries, and gotta use that Heinz ketchup. If you use Heinz ketchup, you need to leave right now. Bye, unsubscribe. If you don't like Heinz ketchup the best, you're just a monster. If you want some guidance in the ketchup realm, I'm your ketchup boy, okay? Ooh. So we've got the chicken pre-chopped. We like to use tenderloins. We find it's a little bit cleaner. We've got the flour and spice mixture all together. We have our pan here, which is pre-sprayed. I actually would recommend to anybody using foil on your pans. It just makes the cleanup process so much easier. We used to have really shitty pans and everything would stick to it anyway, which is why we started doing that. Then we realized when we're making things like bacon, for instance, in the oven, if we're baking the bacon, the cleanup process is so much easier because the grease actually thickens when it gets colder, and then you can just basically take the foil all off and pitch it, and there's almost no cleanup. So I have that ready. The oven is preheated for 400 degrees. I actually already melted 2 tablespoons of butter as well. That's supposed to be pre-prepped. We mix that with the hot sauce later. So yeah, let's get to cooking. So we're gonna give this one a crack, and we will drop it in the Tupperware. Tupperware is just to make the process easier. Take your little whiskey boy, get that all smushed around. So then we're just gonna take our raw chicken and we're gonna drop it all in here. It feels so disgusting. But we'll toss the lid on here and then just give it a shake. Give it a nice good shake. Make sure your chicken's nice and damp. So we got a good mixture here. This isn't going to be the cleanest route forward, but this is what I find to be the easiest. So the recipe will tell you to take each piece of chicken individually and drop it in the egg, then put it in the mixture. I say screw it, take the entire thing, dump it in the mixture, toss that lid back on top, and give this a shake. There's a joke in here somewhere around the Jake and Shake or Shake and Jake or Jake and Bake, but I don't like bad jokes, so I'm not gonna make it. If you came here for bad jokes, you're in the wrong place. Only high quality humor on this page. These little chunky boys of chicken should be pretty well coated. Then literally what we're gonna do is slide the nastiness out of the way here. We're done with that. We're done with that. It's time for the pan. And then you're just gonna spread it out on your pre-sprayed pan. I gotta wash my hands because I touched raw chicken. Give me 1 second. You're the one. You make that time lots of fun. All right, I swear to God, if this wasn't focused on me, it's the last you're gonna see of that camera. So we've got our chicken on here. What we wanna do is take more pan, make it fall in love with gin, and give it a little spray. And we're gonna pop it in the oven for about 10 minutes. What we're gonna do after that is flip it over and cook it for another 10, and then we'll do the sauce. So let's get cooking. It's time to Jake and Bake. While we're waiting for Alexa to count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Thanks, dog. I want to talk a little bit about the last couple of recipes that I made here, and just kind of give you my thoughts on them. So in my first video, I made the chili. I actually think that was the best that the chili has ever tasted. So if you haven't tried it yet, I would highly recommend following that recipe. I thought it was very good. The baked ziti was good, but I think we probably changed the sauce that we used, and we made way too much for us. But I would recommend, if you don't like tomato chunks, don't use the vodka sauce. It was good. It was just a little bit sweeter than I would normally like. So I think maybe next time around, I would make it again and just change up the sauce a little bit. Maybe do something more basil based, because you can't go wrong with basil, period. Yeah, and then I made a Mongolian beef recipe last night. I'm not gonna tell you where I got the recipe from, but I'm also gonna tell you that just be careful, because it was not good. And then I made brown rice and found a seasoning for it, and it was not good. So last night's dinner was terrible. You know, you win some, you lose some. I just realized that I just had this eggy whisk on the table. So you win some, you lose some. Not everything that we do here is gonna be successful, but I do know that this recipe is delicious. If you're doing 21-day fix or trying to follow a leaner diet, maybe hold off on some of the ranch that I'm gonna douse mine in. And then, you know, maybe eat some broccoli on the side. Nothing wrong with some greens. I'm gonna eat French fries because, well, French fries are delicious, and it gives me a reason to use a lot of Heinz ketchup. And you listen here. If you're one of those monsters, yeah, you, come here. If you're one of those monsters that doesn't like Heinz ketchup, if you're one of those monsters that eats Hunt's ketchup over Heinz ketchup, you need to do some thinking, young man. Tell him, Birdie. Kisses? Kisses? Good girl. I love you. All right, so we're gonna wait for all of this to cook, flip it over, and then we'll come back for some sauce action here in a few minutes. All right, so I have the French fries in the air fryer. It takes about 14 minutes. I've got the chicken flipped and back in the oven. We're gonna wait another 10 minutes or so. So in the meantime, now that the butter has cooled a little bit, we're gonna take our hot sauce. You can use any kind of hot sauce that you want, but we typically stick with just Frank's Red Hot. I put that shit on everything. I put a half a cup of the hot sauce in with the butter mixture. And that's 2 tablespoons of butter. I also put 1/2 teaspoon of salt in with the mixture as well. So we'll just give this a little zhuzh. So what we're gonna do is let everything else finish up cooking. We're gonna mix all the hot sauce into the chicken. I'll bring you back for that, and then we're gonna eat. Let's freaking eat, dude. All right. So we're gonna take my tiny little tongs. We're gonna take the chicken, and we're just gonna dump it in the hot sauce. So just gonna get some hot sauce all over these puppies here. If you have actual puppies, would not recommend putting hot sauce on them. Just stick these back in the oven for about 2 minutes. It's just enough to kind of warm up the hot sauce, not enough time to like continue cooking these. All right, 2 more minutes. Alexa, set timer for 2 minutes.
A few minutes later.
All right, so this is it. This is your boneless 21-day fix hot wings. I'm going to slather some ranch on here to make it unhealthy again. So if you try this, let me know what you think. If you have any other recommendations for recipes that maybe are your favorite, please let me know. I'm always open to new ideas. All right. Thanks for watching.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.